So off the cuff, I created an email for the channel where you can send in your questions. The email is thedestinchannel@gmail.com, and you will be able to just ask whatever you want. Today's question comes from Charky, who had a great setup. He said, my question for you would be a little bit different, I think, but I would love to know if you were the boss at PlayStation and you knew that you only had limited resources, what would you do, basically? So let's get into it right now. So thank you so much, Sharky, for the question. It's sort of an interesting one. And I'll be honest with you. Well, I fault certain corporate policies that PlayStation has implemented, like the $10 upgrade charge. I don't think anybody can say that they're not successful. Jim Ryan, love him or hate him, has done major things for the PlayStation brand, pushing them to be one of the most successful consoles of all time. And when you add Herman Hulston to the mix, who they've largely put out in the forefront, I think they've really got a thing going, because they've just said, look, our games are $70. That's just what we're going to do. And what they're saying is we're a premier console, sort of like, it's almost like an elitism play, the same way that Apple would say, like, look, this is how we handle Apple. Well, Android has better, more cost-effective options, if we're being honest. So I think PlayStation has just said, we're going to do that. So I don't think there's a whole lot that I would do differently if I was running a business, but it is an interesting question from Sharky, and it's sort of fun to just discuss. So the full email said, my question for you would be a little bit different, I think, but I would love to know if you were the boss at PlayStation and you knew that you only had limited resources and you're competing with Microsoft that has unlimited resources, how would you compete? How would you compete with Microsoft in buying more game studios? Would you compete with Microsoft in buying more game studios? Would you search for talent and create your own studios? I would love to hear your thoughts about that. So it's a great question. Thank you, Sharky, for sending it in. So first of all, I think Sony is already like doing a lot of smart things with the pinpoint precision of game companies that they choose to acquire. So Microsoft is throwing $7.5 billion at Bethesda because they need to answer that criticism about great stories in their games and just great, amazing games on their platform. And that's definitely going to take care of the issue over time. PlayStation, meanwhile, has been sort of working on this in the background, and they're getting a lot of smaller companies that they're fostering from the start. If you look at Housemarque was just acquired by Sony not that long ago. They made Returnal. Returnal was received very well, and their game sold at $70. Even though they didn't know about that, I think Returnal was an excellent game, and I can't wait to see what else they create. With the other studios that they've decided to acquire, you see a similar theme. Interesting ideas, intelligent people who've made great games, looking to partner with somebody who can help them continue to achieve that vision. Now, inversely, Xbox has sort of done the same thing. I think a company like Ninja Theory, a company like Double Fine, partnering with Microsoft makes sense. They want to be supported, and now they have the financial support to sort of do whatever they want to do. So no, that's my answer for acquiring more game studios. Would you search for talent and create your own studios? I mean, they're always searching for talent. Every company does that. So for me, that question is just like that's already happening. Like that's not something that would necessarily change. The points of consideration that there probably are. The thing about a question like this is they're probably already working on this stuff, but the stuff that I see that should be addressed are indie games. I think they should address that indie game criticism from earlier in the year. And as for like changing what they're doing at a corporate level, I think it's just about messaging. I think their messaging has been really messy this console generation, and they are finally starting to sort of clean it up, and they're sort of going along full steam ahead. I think COVID probably threw them off like it threw off everybody. But here's the stuff that is lingering. The indie game people coming out and basically saying Sony's not fun to work with. They need to come out and address that. They need to come out and address the court documents that leaked concerning crossplay. Just something as simple as whatever their stance is on crossplay, I think they should figure out however to message that to the community and answer that question. And the whole "we believe in generations" quote that Jim Ryan just keeps saying stuff that just makes PlayStation fans angry. Like the whole "we believe in generations" thing, and then releasing stuff cross generationally. Like maybe the full quote was something more along the lines of, and I believe it was more along the lines of, "We believe in generations, and we'll get there eventually. But right now, like, we're going to do everything cross-platform." Why would you give up 120 million possible sales, right? It's like, do I want to go sell to 5 people, or do I want to go sell to 5 million people? Like, of course you want to market your thing to 5 million people. And in Sony's case, it's 125 million. And I believe they're going to have sold 25 million PlayStation 5s by the end of the year, even with a shortage, but you don't want to give up those numbers. At some point, though, they are going to start releasing stuff just on the PlayStation 5, and I do think he will stick to that. But when you say that and then you announce that all your stuff is going to be cross-generation, it's just sort of mixed messaging. It's a message that should have been delivered later, in my opinion, not when you're planning on doing all that stuff. I would make them redo the PlayStation UI. People make fun of people who can't find the power button, but it's a point in criticism. Like on the PS4, it was so easy. They changed it on the PlayStation 5, and it's just it's annoying now. And it's a design thing a lot of people do. They add more steps to get to the thing that you want to do. And PlayStation 4 just had such a great UI system that they tweaked just enough to make it tedious. And sort of in that same vein, I would make fixing the whole save transfer thing a bit more of a priority. But here's the caveat to all that. I don't know what's going on in the background. They've invested all this money into research and development, and none of us actually have any insight into what that is. They said they're going to have their answer to Game Pass, and they have the PlayStation Plus collections, which are great. A lot of really, really great games that you can just play if you have PlayStation Plus, and they have PlayStation Now. One of the things I would change about PlayStation Now are the PlayStation 3 games and how they're implemented. I do not understand why you can't just allow people to download PS3 games and play them on your console. Like if there's people out there emulating the games and hackers and stuff are able to do it, PlayStation has to be able to figure out how to do it, right? So like that's just sort of my 2 cents on the whole PlayStation 3 situation. And the reason that I like this question is because it sort of gives me a jumping off point to talk about like, well, let's think about all my big criticisms for PlayStation. $10 games, cross-play, indie support, and UI. Those are my main problems, like charging. And on the $10 thing, basically, if it's a cross-generational game where it's on the PS4 and PS5, I would keep it $60. And I don't know, like I just feel like it's weird to pay $10 to upgrade your games, but people don't care because they feel like the games are great and it's worth the extra cost. Now, once you start releasing only PS5, I think at that point, like that's, if you have to do the $70 thing, I think that's where you do it, when it's only on the PlayStation 5. But now they're in this sort of messy situation like they ended up with Horizon not that long ago, where Horizon, you have to pay $10, $20 to upgrade. Then they had to backtrack on that because they said it would be free, and then whatever. So at the same time that "we believe in generations" kicks in, I think the $70 thing could have kicked in. And right now, when you're touting that you're super profitable and you're making look at all the money we're making, and also you have to pay us $10 more, it's just that messaging doesn't sit right with me. And that's why I don't like the $10 thing. Now, obviously, the argument is that the developers have to do more development for the PlayStation 5, and because of the improvements like the controller and the 3D audio. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just weird. Record-breaking profits. By the way, pay us more money. It's just like, what? We have all the money, but we need just a little bit more from you. So come on, PlayStation fans, just give us a little bit more money. And that's weird to me as a consumer, right? And I don't think we should be celebrating that mega corporations like EA, Activision, and such are talking about record-breaking profits and charging you more money. That's weird to me. And it'll always be weird to me. I'm never going to get over it. So, yeah. But but the argument is the games are phenomenal. The games are absolutely worth $70. So inversely, yes, the value proposition is there. It's just how it's messaged that sits weird with me. Anyway, that was it. That was my 2 cents on that topic. Thank you so much for watching. What would you want to change? Like, if you can make PlayStation the best company in the world, what in your mind would they have to adjust or address or tweak to be even better than they already are? They're currently just behind Nintendo, and then I believe it's Xbox after that. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. If you like these sort of videos, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when I go live. And if you want to become a member, memberships are turned on. Thank you so much to everybody who has become a member. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.